What are we calling the show this year?
This is the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
Patriots Chinwag, Patriots Before the Game Show.
Jones, he's throwing it toward Thornton, left corner of the end zone, caught, touchdown New England.
Hey, it's the Patriots.
The Patriots Pregame Show is your source for all the latest news and information before every game.
He tucked into the house again.
Here we
and
go.
The Patriots take the lead.
With Hardy,
This makes this segment 38% more exciting.
Mike Dussault,
What do you need, Deuce?
I get that plug.
Okay, Deuce gonna get a plug.
Paul Perillo,
You take the wins how you get them, brother.
I didn't say to be pissed off about the win, Josh. Try to listen.
and Tamara Brown.
Hi, Nick. I'm Tamara. I used to work with Haley.
Patriots Nation, welcome to the Patriots Pregame Show, presented by Dunkin.
I can't wait. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, no, he didn't, baby. Oh, that Matt Morrell, he is a national treasure. Welcome into the Patriots pregame, which is fueled by Dunkin. It's Hardy, Mike Dussault, and Paul Perillo as we get ready for this 1 o'clock kick between the Patriots and the Saints of New Orleans at Gillette Stadium. It is a glorious day for football in New England. Let me tell you something, Deuce. I'm driving in today. I woke up this morning. I saw that temperature, 49 degrees. I'm like, oh. I look outside. Sun's already coming up. Light's starting to come up. Throw a wave to the lighthouse keeper's kid. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's all about. Crisp autumn football weather. Paul, you with me?
Like the kid who's ringing the bell, or what? What?
Are you a weatherman?
I was.
You drove by a lighthouse in Canton on the way here?
I was invoking the perfect storm. Try and keep up.
Oh,
okay.
Well, I don't want to invoke that because doesn't everybody die in that one?
That's true.
Well,
that is true.
Which leads us to today's game. Before we get the keys to the game, I just want to know yes or no. So we are all in agreement, as Fred Durst once said. Is today a must-win for the Patriots, Paul Perillo?
Yeah, I think it is. And I thought off air you had an interesting observation about the early part of this Patriots season. I think we're sitting here looking at the second must-win game, and we're in Week 5.
It's remarkable.
But I really do think you have to win at home against a team that you're even with if you want to have any.
But is this a different kind of must-win? Like usually in the past, I felt like must-wins are like if you want to stay in the playoff conversation, you got to win.
Right.
Is that what we're saying?
Oh,
or is
that's what
you
I'm
must
saying.
for different reasons.
I see where you're going. He's going to a darker place. But yes, I'm talking more in the literal. If you want to stay relevant in the playoff race, you need to win this game.
Well,
I don't think that's what Deuce is saying.
No, I don't think that's what Mike is saying.
Oh, okay.
I think he's going in a different place that's darker than what I'm talking about.
Well, I just think to I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, to say it's a must-win after you just lost your two best defensive players, it's a little bit of that colors things a little bit differently. It's not like this is the same team, but at this point, it feels like you got to win to stay in the playoff conversation. But really, at this point, I think you just need to win to keep everybody on the same page, keep everybody pulling in the same direction. I mean, I went and looked. I mean, I think it was 95 was the last time that they had like a 1-4 kind of start. So I just think it's bigger than that. Maybe we'll talk about playoffs a couple months down the road, but right now I think they just need a win to keep everybody pulling in the same direction.
This could have big implications for the tone of this show for the rest of the season because Deuce has gone from the eternal optimist to going to a darker place. Paul, who is the eternal realist, and me, I'm just kind of a prick here to stir things up. But
True.
we can't have realism and pessimism. That's because the realism tends to be a little more negative.
I'm trying to be real too, though. I don't think that I'm being pessimistic. I just think that there's more to this game than winning
You're
it just to
punting
stay
on the season when you talk about losing their two best defensive players.
Well, that's true. I mean, on one hand, you have they're a 1-3 team that needs a win so that they don't go 1-4, but you also need to find some new players who are going to have to step up out there on that field in about 2.5 hours, whatever it is, 3 hours, and that's it's just on one hand you want to just talk about them being 1-3 and that's who they are, but it's like, oh yeah, but they also lost Matthew Judon and Christian Gonzalez, who were two of the only players on defense that were really making plays thus far into the season. So, what even if they win today, what does this defense look like without those two guys? What does it look like going forward? What are they able to find that they can build off of today? Or, are they going to struggle to find someone to step up? Is J.C. Jackson ready to just?
Well, I was just going to say they found J.C. Jackson. Tough getting him from the Chargers. Oh, wait a second. He wouldn't even lace up his shoes for his last game.
That's
him, so that was probably easier to get them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like another example of teams that just want guys out of their building.
We'll take them.
And everybody made a big deal of the pay. Like, for the Chargers, it was the same. Matter of fact, they saved $1.55 million.
Yeah.
Because if they just released him, then they were going to have to pay him all that money anyway. So
a little bit of a discount.
They just wanted to pay to get him out of the building.
He's guaranteed the full amount?
Just for that, just for this season. There's no guaranteed money moving forward. So for the Patriots, it was a good move because you don't have to pay much of that salary, and there's nothing guaranteed going forward. But to Mike's point, I mean, that was the worst part of the game last week. For as badly as they played, you could sort of say, well, I've seen Mac Jones play, and I haven't seen him play too many games that looked like that. Okay, so I could say, well, that was a really bad week at the office for Mac Jones and the Patriots. So you could, I think, safely assume that they could play better than that. But you can't get those two guys back. And this is what's happening around the league now. Like I'm just watching a little of the London game. Matt Milano looks like he's down with a serious injury. The best players on all of the teams are starting to go down. And it's just like we've already talked about Baltimore and what they've been dealing with, playing games literally with 7 frontline starting players on the inactive list 2 weeks ago in the game against the Colts. That's why I think you're in the situation where this is a must-win, because I don't know if you have the horses to climb out of this hole that you might if you were at full strength. So I understand where Mike's coming from. He's a little bit looking at it from a different way than I was talking about, Hardy, but I think we arrive in the same place. If you want to be a player in the mix, you have to win today.
I don't want to be a player no more. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. All right. Shall we do the keys to the game? Let's go.
Why did you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. You've waited all week for it.
The whole team's in the locker room right now, just listening to this, waiting to hear what you're going to say.
Without these keys, the Patriots are destined and doomed to fail.
Here are Hardy, Paul, Mike, and Tamara's keys to the game.
Why did I steal your key to the game also? Keys to the game without these keys. Patriots doomed to fail today against the Saints of New Orleans. That's why they have us out in the locker room. They're listening. Mike Dussault, the current key holder.
Key master.
And well done last week. They followed your key to the letter and got the big win over the Cowboys in Dallas. So that – wait a second.
No, we awarded it before. I don't think it has anything to do with the result.
What was your key last week? Did it factor into that game at all?
I think it was don't lose by 35.
Who remembers?
This doesn't matter. All right, so Deuce is the current key holder. You get to choose who goes first.
Oh, all right. Let's let Paul break the ice here.
Well, I'm just gonna be honest and upfront, Hardy. I thought you were robbed of the key last week. I thought by far and away you had the best key. So I am now going to conduct the rest of the season under protest. And
okay, good.
I'm no longer going to put an effort into these. So my key in all seriousness is pretty simple. It's something that. I'm not telling you can win the Super Bowl if you do this or whatever, but you got to start playing DeMario Douglas on a more regular basis. And I just feel like this offense is starving for somebody to make a play. And I don't care that it was a broken play. I don't care that maybe he didn't run the route exactly the way he was supposed to run it. He made a play that I don't think anybody else on the offense is capable of doing. I want to see more of those. I want to see him on the field, and I want to see him have more opportunities to make plays. Just get Douglas involved. Yeah. It's a simple one, but it's one I really believe in.
No, I think it's phenomenal, and I think it's one of the the potential bright spots on this offense right now, that he's been underutilized, and maybe allow him to make some mistakes and not sit him out for the rest of the game and only put him in on punt returns, things like that. I mean, let's see if we can get something going there with Douglas. I think it's an outstanding key. It is awarded a score of 4.8.
It's pretty good.
It's 0 to 22 low score wins. Now 4.8 is a really strong score. All right, who's up next, Juice?
Go ahead, Hardy. I'll let myself go last.
Well, they are the Saints of New Orleans today.
Oh God! And
we've seen some New Orleans pass rushers get a little bit of work done earlier on in this season, and we know that Mac does not do well against pressure. So I will say, don't let the New Orleans pass rushers get by you. Don't let
Yes.
them get Cajun cooking. You see what I'm doing?
I love it.
Bayou, but Bayou.
Bayou.
It works on 2 levels. That's my key.
I mean,
really
when I saw it, I knew going
Strong
up against
to
the
quite
Saints
strong.
of Louisiana, I knew we were in for it today with some Bayou jokes, but I credit to you. That's a great one.
Give it a
got
score,
straight, I got
boys.
a straight 4.0.
Wow.
I think it's pretty much 4.0 too. I mean,
4.0.
the use of how it all came together with
Yeah.
Bayou and everything.
And it makes sense
And it makes
for the
total
game
sense.
plan.
It makes
It
total sense.
absolutely makes
Don't let
sense.
Cameron Jordan go Bayou.
Offensive line. Get it done today, guys. We're talking about a must-win in Week 5. O-line has to show up. I don't know if you can run block. You better pass protect, especially if we're going to get to Paul's key of getting Douglas involved. So let's go. Don't let the pass rushers get by you.
Okay,
Cajun cooking.
I might have to rise it up to a 5 if he keeps saying
Okay,
it.
I'm all
pumping
done.
it
I'm
a
all
lot.
done. I'm all done.
He's pumping it.
Do we want to take care of Tamara's key? She's not here. She's doing drone work.
Yeah, no one really knows what this means, though.
Be like Dory. I think we know.
Oh, okay. I'm
we?
sorry.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Just sure. Okay, that's a good one. I was also thinking, doesn't Dory have no memory though? Doesn't Dory can't remember anything? So maybe have a
Oh my
short-term memory.
God! Who the
cares?
hell
It's
cares?
her score's an 18.0.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
I
let-
do
we'll
not,
let her
and
explain
I,
when
I
she
honestly
gets there.
don't know what that.
Just-
Did you talk? Cause
No. I was just kind of guessing.
But
I, mean,
I
have
like
seen-
your theory.
Yeah, but I like just keep
Short
swimming
memory.
too. Like same
There's
kind
no
of
New
thing.
Orleans tie-in. There's no Saints tie-in. It's an
Yeah.
animated movie reference.
true.
18.9. It's one of the lowest scores ever for
Wow.
keys to the game.
If Dory was a catfish, maybe that would have, some kind of connection to the South. but
Something, anything.
Nah.
All right.
You guys really, you guys impressed me. You guys really give this some thought as to what this possibly could mean.
Yeah, well, but I'm all done.
Okay.
So,
I've
Deuce,
seen that movie too many
in
times.
order to retain the key, you need to beat a score of 4.0. What is your key to this game?
I don't know if I'm going to retain the key today, but my key is break the cycle, and it's just
like
you
the
know,
Stained album?
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just sick of watching the same game. I'm sick of watching the same game over and over, where they fall into a hole, and they maybe make a little bit of a push at the end, but it's never quite enough. And similar to the last time the Saints were here, they made a little bit of a push. They just needed a stop in a one-score game. They couldn't even get that stop. So I'm just kind of sick of watching the same game over and over again. So I just want to say, let's break the cycle, whether that's a good start, whether it's no turnovers, whether it's we force a couple of turnovers. We've just been kind of watching the same game a lot off and on the last couple of years. And I'd love to not see that game again, whatever it might be. I want to see a Patriots win, of course, but I just don't want to see the same old fall into a hole, try to scrap back. Maybe the other team makes some mistakes. And, just against the Saints team, like going into a game where you must win. It's one thing when it was the Jets and you knew you had Zach Wilson and it was like, all right, let's just wait and he'll probably give the game to us. It didn't exactly unfold that way, but I think the Saints are a good team. They got a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. It hasn't quite clicked completely yet for them. Derek Carr's been hurt, but they've got some talented veterans on defense that are not going to be pushovers to this Patriots offense. I don't think this Saints defense is going to give this game to the Patriots. They're going to have to go out there and earn it. So I think if they do go out there and earn it, that will break the cycle. But that's my key. Just break the cycle. Let's be done with these games that we've seen off and on for the last 3 years.
Why don't you just give me the key?
All right.
I give it like a 7 maybe,
That's
Paul.
good, that's
I
good.
don't know. What do you think? Do you want to?
I'm not.
Oh, I thought you just give out the.
No, it's a consortium.
You're not
It's a
allowed to
panel.
consult with
Yeah,
them, though.
I
mean, it's
would.
separate
Yeah,
voting.
would you say 7? Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It's
you
not
know.
as good as yours,
Yeah.
but
Well, I mean, that's a high bar.
but it's not as good. It's certainly not as
I
good
like
as
your
mine.
Hardy. You got to just take it. Do
Yeah.
we have a ceremonial theme to play for him as we
Congratulations.
put it over his head?
Are there any songs about keys? Songs in the key of
of
life?
life?
Yeah. I mean, it could have something to do with Stevie Wonder. I don't know. Next
Key
week.
is songs in the key of life.
Next week. That's what I just said.
Sorry.
We were not paying
Wow.
attention.
I wasn't listening.
Deuce
No.
isn't
What was the
listening.
question this week, by the way? I don't think I caught it.
Oh, Hardy music question?
Yeah.
Oh, who else would put on a really good show in the Sphere in Las Vegas? U2 is doing this phenomenal show. We've all seen the videos. So what other band would put on this amazing audio visual feast at the Sphere in Las Vegas?
I don't know.
I have one, and that you don't want to get too far into the weeds with this,
Yeah.
especially since Larry Holder from The Athletic is on the line. But you know what?
Yeah,
we'll do it
let's
while
that.
Paul's out of the room doing his chin wag with the sports.
Probably
Album.
Dua Lipa.
We'll get to that
Which
later.
is
All
true
right.
because I don't have any good
No, Earth,
any
Wind,
good
and
ones.
Fire. I know.
No, I'm not. I just said I don't have any good ones. That would be phenomenal.
Can we go behind enemy lines, please?
You know the view from New England,
We go behind enemy lines.
but what about the view from the other side?
And that's why you're our favorite pregame show guest
Yeah.
every year.
You guys know you tell everybody that.
Oh, yeah?
I was on with you guys in 2018 Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
And I was told I was the favorite guest of the show.
Nope. No.
Time now to go behind enemy lines.
My God, it's coming right for us!
Here he is. Oh, there we go. I have to press the red button. Joining us now from The Athletic, Larry Holder, senior NFL writer at Larry Holder on X, formerly known as Twitter. Joining us now. Larry, thanks for taking the time this morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're fired
Doing
up.
great.
You know, but it's nice weather today. Beyond that, things are sketchy. But it's a beautiful day here in New England.
I'd say the same thing about the Saints too.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of outside of like the Saints really wanting to make a quarterback change potentially. I feel like both teams are pretty eerily similar in that they've got question marks all over the map here.
Yep.
Along those lines, Larry, just, what's going on with Derek Carr, his shoulder, and, why does this offense, you guys got a bunch of weapons, why haven't they been able to get things going yet?
I really think it's a combination of factors, and it goes beyond Derek Carr being injured because he hasn't been injured all year. I mean, he got hurt in the third quarter against the Packers, and it's not like the offense was really totally rolling in the first place. Actually, in the first half of the Packers game is the first time the Saints offense actually looked in sync, and then, of course, in the third quarter, he gets hurt. And so, look, it's whether you look at Carr trying to get acclimated, the Saints' offensive line being a little leaky. The Saints are trying to work Alvin Kamara back into things. His first game back was last week after being suspended for 3 games. Whether it's inconsistencies with the play calling or game planning with Pete Carmichael, the offensive coordinator, I think you add it all up, and it's really it's really just been a work in progress, and it's almost seeming like after last week, the work is going backwards with Carr being injured and the offense just really being inept.
Larry, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the defense, and particularly up front, the pass rush. New Orleans is, I know the last several years that they've been really strong up front and been able to get after the passer. Doesn't seem like they've had much success over the first month. Cameron Jordan's a guy Bill Belichick raves about, and how consistent he's been on the edge. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the pass rush from New Orleans, and if you think that they have potential to improve in that area. That's obviously been a huge problem for the Patriots protecting Mac Jones.
Yeah, it slowed down in the last couple of weeks. It was okay at the very start of the season, but has slowed down. Look, Cam Jordan is someone that you're arguing that he's got Hall of Fame credentials, but look, he's certainly at the back end of his career, and so you're looking for the front four to produce, and you have Carl Granderson at the opposite edge. Brian Brzee, their first-round pick at defensive tackle, he's actually done a pretty good job of being able to create that. But look, it's certainly something that for this defense to be successful, they need to be able to do that. And I know the Patriots' offensive line has been a little bit banged up as well, and so this could be a game where they could. And the Saints secondary, look, that's typically a strength of the Saints team. So I'm wondering if you're going to maybe see some blitzing from the Saints a little bit more, not lean on that front four. Maybe send Demario Davis in there on a blitz or Pete Werner and things like that. So, yeah, I think that the Saints, look, in general, they need to lean on their defense because the offense has been so sluggish. And so it shouldn't be a surprise, though, because we knew the Saints offense wasn't going to be spectacular to start, but it's been even worse than it has been. So the Saints really need to create some takeaways, starting with that pass rush, and do some problems with Mac Jones.
Larry Holder from The Athletic is with us. Larry, sticking with the Saints defense here for a minute, I heard an interesting stat regarding third down situations that the Saints defense has faced, and it requires a team to be in third and short which I don't know that the Patriots are going to be in a lot of third and short situations today.
Wow.
But if that what? I'm just saying. If they are, teams have had a lot more success running the ball as opposed to passing the ball. And you already talked about the pass rush. Is there any kind of an issue with the Saints' run defense right now?
Well, that was a big point of emphasis in the offseason because their run defense, especially toward the end of last season, was bad, like really bad. And they made some wholesale changes along the front. And look, it seemed like that the Saints were starting to be able to kind of fix that problem. But, yeah, like that's something that if there was a weakness within the defense, it would be the run defense. So I think that's something that I know the Patriots, they haven't exactly run the football excellent this year, and that's something that if there's a time for maybe the Patriots to kind of get right in that spot, it would be that because, yeah, if you want to attack the Saints, you don't want to necessarily try to do it through the air, but running the football. And so, yeah, here's the thing, like if they can grind out some drives and Patriots put points on the board and being able to do that, convert in third and short, that would put certainly more pressure on the Saints offense that hasn't been great. So, yeah, I think that's certainly kind of a sneaky key that will probably be a good telling point into who wins this game.
Larry, what's your outlook for the Saints offensive line today? I know you guys had a little bit of injury issues there last week.
Yeah, well, you look at just kind of their overall play and just with what they have. I know, look, they certainly had some injury issues with Cesar Ruiz, concussions, and James Hurst being added late to the injury report. And so, yeah, when you look at it in that sense, it's already been a bit of work in progress. You expect that unit to be a little bit better than what it has been over the years. But still, yeah, it's, regardless of kind of who's in and who's out, it hasn't mattered because they've underperformed. And so I think that's something that, and you wonder, all right, the pass pressure, can the Patriots create more of that even with Judon being out? Is that possible? So, yeah, I think that's something that the Saints that's an unexpected flaw, I guess, maybe within the Saints. You would expect that unit to have been better regardless of who's there or who's not.
Do you think that they have the potential, just on that side of the ball in particular? Mike had brought up the weapons, with Olave and Thomas and then Shaheed sort of, being a big play guy. It would seem the pieces are in place to be better. Do you think that they potentially can get better on offense?
I think they can. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's why it's a little befuddling. You feel like you have the pieces there. And now Kamara's back for week 2 off of being suspended. So can you make that happen? I think that's the thing. Like, is Michael Thomas the same Michael Thomas? No, but is he viable? Yes. Should Chris Olave be able to be a big-time target and then Rashid Shaheed maybe a deep threat? Yes. And so you're wondering, is this a David Carr? Is this a Derek Carr thing? Or is this a play calling thing with Pete Carmichael? And then, the Saints always have Taysom Hill, that jack-of-all-trades guy. So, you throw that in the mix. Like, this offense should be better. And I think that's really got people in New Orleans frustrated right now.
Well, Larry, we always ask our guests to give us a score prediction. I don't know if you've done one yet, but, we're not going to hold you to it. Just give us an idea. How's this game work out? Who wins, and what's the final?
Low scoring, considering the offenses that are playing. I think the Saints can do just enough. I think Saints 17, Patriots 14. It wouldn't shock me if it's flipped the other way, but still, I think the Saints, they can do just enough to kind of get out of there with a win.
All right. Larry Holder from The Athletic, at Larry Holder on Twitter. We appreciate the time. Thanks, Larry.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
This is going to be another one, just like the last time we had a must-win with the Jets, and everybody was
17,
like,
14.
17, 13, 14. I think
16
I think
to
the
12.
vast majority of the predictions of this game are going to be very similar to the one Larry just gave us.
Yeah,
I think.
Not a lot in the 20s.
No.
I mean,
unless it's a turnover fest.
Yeah.
One team turns the ball over a lot, and then the points can go up.
Yeah. I just keep hoping against hope that they're going to find something offensively. Maybe they pay attention to your key, Paul, and get Douglas involved. Maybe Mac finds some rhythm with Hunter Henry, and they can connect multiple times and get the ball downfield. I'm not talking about for I'm not talking about for the dam to finally the dam gates to be let wide open. But I don't know. Am I out of line in asking for 3 touchdowns from a team over the course of 4 quarters?
You shouldn't be.
It's
been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. All right, let's go to the phones here. We'll start with Pat in Agawam, 855 Pat's 500. Email us too, webradio@patriots.com. Pat, here in the parking lot, you're partying out there, kid. Hey, Pat.
We'll be on the hot seat if the production on the
Turn your internet down.
Turn your internet down. I'm placing him on hold. He will come back. He'll come back in, I don't know. He was pretty far behind, actually. We might have to go to Floyd in Michigan first. Floyd will be ready. Floyd, thanks for hanging. Welcome into the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. What's up, Floyd?
Good morning. I have 4 yes or no questions.
Love it.
So again, yes or no. We'll go one at a time, and if we can hustle through them, I have a 5th bonus.
Okay.
First question: are we starting to see Bill Belichick get out-coached?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the way I've been looking at that, Floyd, is I still think Belichick is an excellent coach. I think we all agree. But when was the last time that you opened one of these games with a game plan that really caught the other team off guard? Especially against good teams. When was the last time they came out of a first quarter with a lead?
He's definitely been out-personnelled,
there's no doubt about that.
It's not the first time in his career he's been out-coached. He's been out-coached before, and yes, we've seen it this year. That's an easy yes. Fine.
Will Bill Belichick be back next year?
Yeah,
yes.
I need more information on that.
I still say yes, but we're 4 games into the season. So.
Right, and we're talking about what happens if they lose today. And Mike, you brought up just mentality. Mac Jones under a lot of pressure today to play well.
Yep. I'll give you an answer.
Does
Floyd.
it go the other way if they start losing and they go they win 5 or 6 games?
I'll give you an answer.
Then I think there's a chance he's not back.
Okay. My answer is I don't know if they lose today. My answer is no. He's not back next year.
Oh, wow.
Did the Carolina Panthers move up and draft the wrong quarterback?
That's way too early to say.
Yeah.
I have no idea. They played 4 games.
Will Justin Fields be back next year?
In Chicago?
Yes.
My guess is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Final and bonus question.
I like these rapid fire.
The early success of DeMeco Ryan, former D coordinator of the 49ers, does that give you any different thought process of Gerard Mayo possibly taking over of head coach of the Patriots?
Well, there's been some discussion of that in recent weeks. Do we really want another defensively minded head coach to take this team over? I think Gerard is has a really good football mind. I don't know that it is limited just to defense. So I would still have no problem at this point with Gerard taking over what's happened recently with other coaching successes. Doesn't change my mind on that.
No, not me either. I mean, it's different. I mean, Gerard's just so entrenched here and is involved in so much that New England did. I mean, it's been a great start for DeMeco Ryans, but again, 4 games in, we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I wanted to. I want an offensive guy. It hasn't changed my mind.
All right. Good enough. Thanks, Floyd.
No bonus. Okay.
No, that was it.
Oh, that was the.
He said he was going to have 5 on it if we had time, and he did. Now we'll see if Pat Nagawam is ready to go here. We'll take him off hold and see if he's
check in with his party.
Ready to go, Pat.
How about now?
What's going on, guys?
There he is.
Yeah. What you eating?
Tips?
Hey, you got the full Cousin Patty experience today, man. I'm tailgating. I'm here at the game. Feeling good. Feeling nice, baby.
Okay.
The experience feels the same to us so far.
So here's my big question today.
All right.
Do we have the dog to deal with the Saints wide receivers today? And
Boyd?
I don't know. I'm hoping Jonathan Jones comes back today and they're good to go.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, he needs to be back today.
Like Paul said during the week. I'm not really hedging my bets on J.C. Jackson, but What do you guys think? I mean,
No, they need John. I
me,
think you're right, Patty. They need Jonathan Jones back and
Yep.
performing reasonably well. I mean, without Gonzalez, they need some healthy bodies to make sure it's not all Sean Wade and Miles Bryant.
Yeah.
Pat, have a good time. Enjoy the game, buddy.
Sounds like he already is.
Yeah, he's all right.
I'm very jealous.
It's amazing though the broad range of like what you could have at Patriots cornerback this week. Like it sounded like Bill was saying maybe Jonathan Jones has turned a corner. We don't really know with J.C. Jackson. He wasn't on the injury report. You could have those two guys out there.
They don't want him playing. The Chargers didn't want him on the field. There's a difference.
No, I'm just saying. Never mind.
I'm just saying it's not a health-related thing. That's the reason why he's a Patriot right now. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm not either. We'll talk off air.
Wow, he's so many secrets today, Hardy. I think we might want to redo his rankings. His rankings might be higher than we originally give him credit for. Initially, I thought it was just okay, but now I think it's better.
You could go from Jackson and Jones to Wade and Bryant. You don't really know.
Oh,
and against these guys,
he knows
they're
something.
good. We'll see.
11:30, right? We'll find out. Whoa.
15 minutes.
Oh,
all right.
Deuce. This is what happens when I'm down in my dungeon. No one shares any of this stuff with me in the pre-show meetings.
Next, one of you're right down there with the big bosses, aren't you?
Who would that be now?
Isn't Matt down there?
Yeah, well, Matt and I are down in our little dungeon by ourselves.
Okay.
All the action. The action is the juice. It's all upstairs.
Right. Spee, what's going on, buddy?
The action is the juice, indeed. Great call so far from Mr. Floyd. He's the best.
He is good.
I liked that, like, sort of rapid fire, no thought.
Not
like,
even
yes,
just
no.
Patriots too. Some around the league.
I
Do you know
liked that.
what? Do you know what the key is? It's got to be a yes or no, and none of us can answer yes or no because we're all, we all have diarrhea of the mouth.
Right.
Yeah,
You gotta
trained to not do that.
Yeah, but like in a normal interview, it's like you would never ask a yes or no question, but you can of us, and so we give you just a tiny bit more, and boom, on to the next one.
Boom. I like a drunk stone Patty also. That's always a plus, and I have that on board.
Redundant, but
I'm
yes,
doing
we
good.
like Patty too.
Feeling fine.
So it's a couple teams today that are like maybe looking to have a get-right game. And I was trying to figure out who's more likely to get right. It's hard when you stack up the two teams, especially the offenses against one another. Like they just have more talent. Like Kamara coming back, Shaheed.
Yeah.
You look at Carr, you look at Mack. Who's likely to have that get right day? It's just hard to not think it's Derek Carr. I mean, I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he looked good before his first injury when he was on the Raiders, but now he's maybe middling or worse. I don't know. It just seems like with all that talent around him, it against the Patriots now seems like an enticing prospect to find your way back,
Yeah, I mean, he's got to have some confidence, too. I mean, I know he threw the pick six to Duggar last year, but I mean, he still threw 3 touchdowns and was pretty clutch against them. So, I mean, he shouldn't, be overwhelmed going against this Patriots defense. He should have a pretty good feel for him.
He's got to be feeling a little bit better based on the injuries except for this past week. So,
I've just been looking at some of the Twitter stuff. Some of the guys out there saying he's throwing the ball in pregame looks pretty,
no problem.
So
pretty normal.
Yeah.
But I like your assertion there that it's a get right game for either one of these teams, and to think that the Patriots are now a get right team to play against, that's a bitter pill to swallow. And you're right, you've got two teams kind of looking, and who needs it more? Who needs the get right game more? I say it's the Patriots.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, and the fact that they're at home, makes them a little bit more desperate.
And those are the two things. Like, those are the two things when I'm sitting here being like, why do I feel like the Patriots are going to win? That's it. I mean, really, if you stack them up, I feel like the Saints have probably the more talent on defense. They definitely have more talent on offense. They've got some issues, but sometimes I wonder if I'm just making that pick because it feels like the Patriots need this game more than the Saints do right now.
All right, Speed, appreciate the call. Thanks, buddy.
Right on.
All right, we'll see it. I love the get right phrase. I love the get right.
Get right. Gotta get right.
Buddy recently who had one of his kids' friends was over and like lipped off a little bit. My buddy had to yell at this kid, and it caused this big drama.
Oh, gave him a strongly worded.
The next day, he hears his kid on the phone talking to someone else, obviously talking about what had happened, and he he heard his kid say, well, so-and-so got out of line, and my dad had to put her right. Like, oh, I like that.
That sounds intense.
But this whole notion of using the Patriots as your get right opponent.
I think it was the same with the Jets game. The Patriots needed the Jets was a get right game opportunity, and the Jets felt the same way.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
But it certainly was for the Cowboys last week. They had the loss against the Cardinals, and they're like, all right, we got to get right. Whew, well, we can do it against these guys coming into Dallas this week. We can get right against them, and boy, did they.
Yeah, we'll see tonight how it plays out for them. I'm excited to watch that game. That'll be a good.
Oh, has there ever been like a bigger consensus as to what the game of the week is than it is this week?
Oh, it's great.
San Francisco 49ers is the game to watch this week.
New England, New Orleans. I mean,
I thought that's what he was talking about.
We can all agree there, right? Yeah, that should be a good game to watch. The Niners and Cowboys. I hope the Dallas shows up. They rarely do in big spots like that, but I hope it's a game worth watching later on.
All right, let's talk to Deshaun in Virginia. Deshaun, what do you got for us? Thanks for checking in. What's happening?
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
I just want to say the fact that people always talk about, with Bill Belichick being our coach, but that's not like the main root of the problem. The root of the problem is going to be about the personnel. So you're going to see a lot more of this stuff going on because the personnel is not going to change. And it's only going to get worse, too, now that the defense is suffering all these injuries. And that was pretty much the backbone of the team right now. So you possibly could see a lot more games like the Cowboys eventually, depending on who they're facing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I generally agree. I just also think that there's an element of a well-coached team does certain things and is prepared to play a certain way and, is prepared not to beat. So, talent arguments aside, which I totally agree with what he's saying, I also just don't think that the group they have is even playing up to the lesser talent level that they have. They're not playing to that.
Because they haven't done all the things that you would consider that normally well-coached teams do.
Yeah.
They've had some sloppy penalties. They've had slip-ups on special teams. They've had some last week, especially. They had some trouble tackling.
Yep.
That's not really a talent thing. Those are just sort of
Well,
preparation
that's
things. Now, I agree with you 100%, Deshaun, about their talent.
Perfect.
I'm sorry.
That's the problem. It's so much pressure to be perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's to win. Like we're just talking about playing a clean game.
Yeah.
You're turning the ball over.
Giving
you're
a chance
giving
to
penalties.
win, not losing the game.
Right. They're going to fall short in a lot of weeks because the other team has more talent, and I understand that.
Right.
But that's not like they didn't fall short last week because they had no talent. They didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got thoroughly outclassed because they couldn't do anything right. Their quarterback is rolling out one way and throwing across the field the other, and that not all turnovers are created equal. In other words, when you play that poorly, you're going to turn the ball over.
And especially when you start. It's a really horrible thing to accuse a team of giving up, but there are ways of giving up and
business decisions.
Like we saw Tom Brady do it back in the day. It happens. You get it's a combination of desperation and frustration. You start chucking the ball up into double coverage. You just don't care anymore. And I think you saw a little bit of that from Mac last week, and he did not finish the game as a result.
Nobody was open.
What's that?
And nobody was open.
There were guys open. There were guys open last week.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing it to him.
I mean, when I was looking at the film, I didn't probably see anybody open.
No, I mean, I thought Greg Olsen did a great job during the game of showing you guys that he had a chance to throw to that he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't seeing.
Deshaun, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
I thought that was widespread just collapse last week. I think there was a lot of blame to go around.
We'll talk to John here, but then we really should get more in depth on Mac here on this Patriots pregame. Fueled by Dunkin. Saints today, 1 o'clock. John is in Miami Beach. I'm Ramondre Stevenson. Yes, John.
Howdy, team. My leg is still propped up from its injury last week, but you're keeping me company here. Okay, I'm gonna offer you a bit of a advanced statistics that supports one of my ideas here.
John, refresh my memory. How did the leg injury take place again? Does anybody else remember? Anyone? No.
I was
shark.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a shark.
Our shark.
Thresher shark. A what? It's a shark.
It's a tiger shark.
No. What?
I was driving the lane ball.
Oh, that's right. He was driving the lane.
Right. It wasn't a sharp.
Driving the lane. All right.
Driving the lane.
Okay. All right, go on.
So Ramondre
Football.
Stevenson was number 1 in yards over expected last year, and I'm just not seeing that kind of performance from him this year. I don't suspect it's anything with him. I'm, more apt to blame the scheme or the line or whatever because I really enjoyed watching him last year and think he's an excellent player. So just want your opinion on what you think his kind of declining performance is related to.
Well, my initial thought is I give no thought to yards over expected. Expected by who? I'm not picking on you,
By
John,
math.
but yeah, seriously. I mean, if we're going to start talking about metrics of that kind, then just count me out.
They used to call that guys that break tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a lot on the offensive line, too. I mean, I don't think Stevenson's absolved of all blame, but their offensive line can't get to the second level and block guys. I mean, that's where the big runs happen. And, I mean, I struggle to think how many rushes over 10 yards they've had this year, maybe a handful. I mean, it's just I think a lot of that is the offensive line trying to get out to those second-level blocks. And, and some of it's on Stevenson. I think sometimes he's been a little bit indecisive, and I think even he's admitted that. But it's also he's got a thigh injury now. And I know he from, people saying to practice he doesn't look 100%. So it's like, again, it's hard to have all these expectations when Judon and Gonzalez are out. Stevenson's going to be banged up. Is today going to be his get-right game? I don't know. Is it going to be all Ezekiel Elliott? Is Ty Montgomery going to get a chance if Stevenson can have a lot of carries today? I don't know. It's just high expectations for something that might not happen because he's just simply banged up today.
Do they need that today, Paul? I mean, or are they going to be okay, and are they going to be able to get something done without a big performance from Ramondre?
I think they need to run the ball better, and I think that's what they're. When you talk about like their identity and what they want to do and how they want to play, like they want to run the ball and throw when they want to, not because they have to. And they really haven't been able to run the ball effectively all year. Even the best game they had, they couldn't run the ball when they had to in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Against New York in the one win. So yeah, I think they do need it, Hardy. I think that would go a long way to get the offense going.
All right, Nick Baby Love joining us now on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. Nick, how you doing?
I'm as I told Matt, and always a shout out to him, great engineer like Kevin was. Look at the show is still excellent despite. Look at this is our team. I love them, and I had to say something special today because today is it's been a tough couple of days for Mr. Kraft. So. Let's send all our love to him. We know he's brought football to Israel and whatnot, and we pray for everybody in Israel. I don't want to get emotional, but, hey, Mr. Kraft, we love you, brother, and I love you guys. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah. Well, we are, watching the news here the last couple of days. It's it puts everything in perspective in terms of what other people in the world are going through right now. So, in terms of this game today and focusing in on Saints, Patriots, you have an opportunity here to, I think, if not turn things around, extend and give life to a season, or you can, and this is, again, remarkable to me, essentially shut the valve off on the interest of a lot of casual fans in terms of how the season is going to go. If for no other reason, 1-4. 1-4.
Yeah.
What am I doing? And even with the win next week against Vegas, who do you have on the schedule after that? You got Buffalo, you got Miami. I don't think anybody is looking at those as real gettable games right now. So this is not only an extension of your season, it's an extension of the interest level that people and casual fans, we're going to be here every week. Real Patriots fans are going to watch to the bitter end, and they're going to take things away even in losses that can be considered good. But just for the overall picture, speaking for Joe Everyman out there, They got to win this thing today.
Yeah, and the next couple. And, I mean, you make a great point about, two defining games against Buffalo and Miami, and that's going to tell you exactly where you're stacking up here as we get into October, which is always the time of year where usually they say this is about the time where you figure out what you have. So,
but what a difference that would make to go into those Buffalo and Miami 100%. Games at 3-3.
100%.
Holy
100%.
crap.
It gives
You
you a
got a
chance.
season.
You get some confidence. You find a stride. You find some things that are working, and maybe you say, hey, maybe we have a puncher's chance today going into Buffalo. If they lose this game and the next one, and you've lost 2 straight, it's
or
going to
either
be
one. They have to win them both.
Yeah.
We're gonna everything that we're going to say today, we're going to say again next week, even if they win today.
Yeah.
So they have to win both.
It will depend on how they win. It will depend on how they win and how they look. If it looks like they've got something going, and they've been able to create a spark offensively, I think it will be more important for them to keep that going and get a win. If they slide backwards into a 10-7 win today.
See, I just don't think I know exactly what you're saying, and that's not going to be my break the cycle key. That's going to be another version of how they get wins against.
They could win today and not and actually fail your key test.
Right, but what I like about this matchup is that I think New Orleans has enough talent and they're a well enough coached and good enough team that I don't expect that New Orleans is just going to hurt themselves and lose the game themselves, and we're going to come in here and say, yeah, the Patriots won. But, man, Derek Carr was terrible. I really don't think that's going to happen. Of course, it's possible. But just with the injuries that they've had on defense, that's just what's so intriguing to me, and just that storyline of who steps up. Like, I mean, all offseason when we talked about Judon, I'm like, what happens if they lose Judon? Like, Uche is what Uche is. He's a third-down pass rusher. Anthony Jennings, I think, was good this summer, but they do not have that complementary piece off the edge that can do it all. And so it's going to become more of a wholesale change between early downs and late downs. And, where can they – Trey Flowers ain't coming back today, so they're going to have to figure out a pass rush with Barmore, with Uche. Maybe Jelani Tavai plays a little bit more off the edge, but – it's just those guys were so good. They made so many plays, and it's going to be a real blow trying to take the field. I just wonder mentally how the defense is able to rise up without those 2 guys on the field.
We actually got a couple of emails in here, Deuce, webradio@patriots.com about my sphere question.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And now that Paul's away, the mice can play.
The mice can play.
And we can talk
Musical
about
mice.
this just for a moment. The sphere in Las Vegas, where the Patriots will be playing next week, not in the sphere. But, maybe they'll get a chance to look at it. Oh, look, it's an eyeball.
What is that?
Oh, look. Oh, now it looks like the Death Star.
Sphere.
Oh, it's a sphere. U2's putting on these great audio-visual shows inside that
looks really
thing.
cool.
Who else could put on a great show in there? Bill in Bozeman, Montana, said fish would destroy that sphere. They already crush MGM Grand Garden Arena every couple of years. The answer is fish. A lot of people have
Fish
the
friends?
answer to this one.
Do you have fish friends? I have like some fish friends that are just,
They're no longer my friends.
love the fish.
They just
follow the fish.
All they can do is talk about the fish, and they can't do anything else other than their fish.
I spent 2 years in Vermont. There was a lot of fish in Vermont. A lot of people who like
God,
fish.
that rotten with fish fans.
The holy
up
land
there.
of fish.
Yeah, it's too much.
But I've never been to a fish show. But I know a lot of people who follow them. Are they like multimedia? Is that? I mean, I felt like that was all about just like the music and the long songs and not so much the presentation.
I thought it was about the drugs.
Drugs. You can do drugs anywhere. You don't need to go to a sphere.
There was a fish show in Las Vegas when I was living out there, and it was an outdoor Sam Boyd Stadium, I think. And later that night, a bunch of fish fans showed up because Stuart Copeland of the police was there with the guys from Fish, and they were doing like Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety. And the smell at the House of Blues from those Fish fans, number one, no offense, Bill, alternative hygiene methods, right? A lot of natural stones instead of soap, a lot of leaves and berries as opposed to deodorant. So they're outside, 110-degree heat in the desert all day. Then they go inside the House of Blues that night for this other show. I don't know what the smell was, but I never want to smell it again. It's just never, ever, ever again.
Fumigate the sphere after that one.
I think they could put on a hell of a show there. Look at that. There's a great that is not an animation. That is what the thing looks like from the outside, from other hotel rooms on the Strip. You look out at that thing, and that's what it looks like on the outside. And the inside is, all these different depictions. I'm sure you've seen them online. The answer that I think I've gotten the most frequently to this question is the band Tool. Tool does a lot of cool, visual stuff in their shows, and it's very psychedelic.
We
And
got a whole video running here.
yeah, this is amazing. How did our we don't plan this show. We just start talking about stuff, and look at them back there.
It's such a cool
Thank
place.
guys.
You could probably.
What's that? Yeah, this is fantastic.
I think pretty much any band with good music could do something cool in this kind of a setting.
No,
right?
no. What's Pearl Jam gonna do? Pearl Jam's a great live band. They hang a big banner behind them that says Pearl Jam,
and they just play. They just rock.
And that's enough for Pearl Jam fans. They don't necessarily want all that other stuff. Bruce Springsteen. Is Bruce Springsteen going to put on a show in there and have all those elements to it?
So there's really nowhere to go, huh? You just kind of stand there. So it's really just about the projection behind and around you.
Well, what are you talking about, the band?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
where do you want the band to go?
They're just on a square in the middle of a room. Like, it's not like a big stage. It doesn't have, like, all the things going up the sides.
It doesn't have
different levels.
No, it doesn't have all that stuff.
It's like you take a college band in a bar and then you just put the square in the middle of a really cool display,
Right. Is that how you did it when you were playing in your college band there, dudes?
I wish I played in a college band. I never did, and it's one of my great regrets.
I wish I were good enough to play in a
I'd
college
get in a
band.
dad
I would.
band. I'd do a dad band still. I'd get into that.
Join you.
Okay, we should do it.
I'll write the lyrics.
Okay.
PU band.
Hold on a second. What type of music do you think we're going to be playing in this band, Morel?
I'm Semper Gumby. I'll flex all the way you want.
Okay. All right.
Just Tool songs.
We're not doing any Tool. No. I'm speaking for myself. Do not have the chops.
Why did people say Pink Floyd? Like, that would be one, right? But that's like they do the laser show down there at the Museum of Science.
Pink Floyd is getting a lot of answers.
Yeah. But are they psychedelic shows, or is that just psychedelic music?
Yes. And, I don't know. You've been to a Pink Floyd show?
Neither have I.
But the other thing you want to consider in this, if you want to, like, really get in the weeds, should it be a band that can do, like, at least a month-long residency? Like, U2 is going to be there for a while. If you're going to put on the production costs and, like, come up with this thing, it's got to be a band that's going to sell out 30 or 40 dates. And I mean, I'd like to say Tool can do it. I don't think they can.
How long till Taylor gets a residency there?
What can't she do at this point? It's crazy.
So we got our inactives.
Let's hear it.
Let's start with the good news. Is Jonathan Jones and J.C. Jackson are both active. So that's good news. Matthew Judon is out. We knew that. Cole Strange not able to go for a second straight week. Keyshawn Booty, Tyrone Wheatley, Calvin Anderson, and Will Greer will be the third quarterback as well. So Riley Reif comes in, and that I guess bumps Calvin Anderson out. Just curious where Riley Reif is going to play. Is he going to play guard? Is he going to play tackle? We talked about on the show this week, they kind of seemed like they had designs on him playing right tackle this year. It lasted maybe a week in training camp before they kind of kicked him inside to guard. He was working at guard then for the rest of the summer. So now he's back. Does this result in some kind of juggling? Of course, we'll see here in a few minutes what warm-ups look like, who's lining up where, but could be some offensive line juggling today. See if how and where they try to get Riley Reif in there.
Okay. Well, J.C. Jackson in, it was kind of looking that way. It's kind of trending that way. There is this belief or assumption that he knows the system and he can go back in and play. How confident or how much do you agree with that narrative?
Yeah, I agree. I agree generally with it. I mean, I think the thing that with JC was just that he's a little bit of boomer bust anyway, and so I'm kind of ready here in his return to maybe be a little bit more, not to say bust in terms of he's a bust player, but just I think he might give up some plays here early on. And I mean, he had a significant injury last year with the patellar knee tear, so we'll see. I mean, we're only, like we said, 4 games in. He didn't really play the last 2 games, didn't play any in the other one. So it's good they got him out there, and those 2 guys. I mean, they're going to have to jump right in and play a lot against Olave and Thomas, and it's a big challenge.
I like how you said patellar.
Patellar tendon.
Yeah, as it reminded me of Remy. I'm talking about Okajimer. All right, so J.C. Jackson, Jonathan Jones, probably bigger news in terms of his availability today, or did you see that trending that way?
No, I mean, hard to tell because he played the first game and then he was kind of out for 3 weeks. So I every week I've kind of been like, I think he's going to play. And it sounded like this week when Bill talked that he was trending in the right direction. So it's good. I hope he's not limited. I hope they don't have to pull him out and, manage his snaps, as even that will start to affect their depth.
What do you got on Jack Jones?
Not sure. Still waiting. I mean, hamstring. So it's been a little while. You wonder.
He's available.
Those are pretty
4
significant.
weeks, right?
Yeah, he was eligible to come off this week. That would be another nice boost for him. I think the sooner he can get back, and if JC goes out there and plays, a bunch of snaps and looks pretty good. Uh-oh, that's a funny bone. That'll just be a nice boost if JC, Jonathan Jones, even if they're just able to go wire to wire and give them a boost, and then you get Jack Jones back, maybe Marcus Jones, and you start to rebuild that depth in the secondary.
All right, back to the phones, 855-PATS-500, webradio@patriots.com. More of your emails coming up, but first we go to Gabriel in Delaware. Hey, we're in Delaware. Gabriel!
He didn't appreciate your joke.
Gabriel not there. All right, good. We'll go.
I didn't want to talk to you anyway.
That's good. It's good. All right, let's get back to the emails here. We'll check in with Stefan in Germany, in Hamburg. Stefan. Key to the game is O-line and Mac playing like actual NFL players, for once earning their paychecks. They can't deliver today. The season is over. The game on November 12th in Frankfurt is going to be my third Patriots game live in stadium.
Nice.
But I have little hope of cheering my favorite team to a win. Yikes. Let's hope the game today doesn't feel like another 3-hour-long session at the dentist. Bye for now. Stefan. Okay. O-line and Mac playing like actual NFL players. Yes, more so on Mac. The O-line is still, I think, hamstrung little personnel issues. We just went over the inactives and, who's playing where and all that stuff. Mac's got to figure something out. You're gonna have to make a little bit of magic today. You don't have to be full-blown transcendent, but you got to make some plays, and you can't make a ton of mistakes. And you're gonna have to go out there and play like I don't know, maybe a third-year NFL starting quarterback.
Yep, that's it, Hardy. I mean, that's. For me this week, look, the offensive line deserves some discussion for sure, and they haven't been able to do the job consistently through the first 4 games of the season. But when I looked at last week, it was a lot on Mac Jones for the first time, really, that I felt like he just kind of unraveled before our eyes. And I think you saw some of the reports this morning that Bailey Zappi getting increased snaps. I mean, I think it put a lot of people on watch with Mac Jones. Can he break this cycle? I mean, I know you heard talk this week about guys that just all of a sudden start to look at the rush and they can't execute the offense. We had a caller who said there wasn't anybody open. Disagree vehemently with that. I mean, there were guys open, especially Devontae Parker on crossing routes, at least 2 or 3 occasions. Look at the incomplete to Gesicki in the end zone. He's got a nice quick pass. He just was out of rhythm with the offense. And that's the thing I'm most interested to watch early on in this game is he look like he did the beginning of the last game? Because I think the first drive of that last game, he was looking pretty good. I mean, first play, 12-yard pass to Hunter Henry. Got his eyes downfield. He's stepping up in the pocket. We talked about on Unfiltered this week. There's just been, too much the inability to reset and throw a quick strike. It's either it's not there and he runs, or he's getting sacked. So he's got to be able to find a way, which, I hate trying to draw comparisons to Brady, but we saw Brady as one of the best to ever do it in the pocket, the ability to take a subtle step to his left, reset, and fire the ball in there. And that's what Mac has to learn how to do, because I do think there are guys open. It's not easy. The offensive line has been spotty, and I understand why he doesn't trust them. He's got to get over it, though.
Right. And the comparison to Brady is only really from an ability and a tactical standpoint. And Brady had enough time, behind enough good offensive lines to where he didn't feel threatened maybe every single second of every single snap.
Yeah.
Mac hasn't had that this year. So while it may be an unrealistic ask, it's not unrealistic or unfair to ask him to step up and just play better than your offensive line is maybe either better than they're playing right now or play something to make up for the situation that the O-line is in right now. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
You want to have a season? You're going to have to play better.
Yeah, and that's, and what's the move with Reef, like we said earlier? I mean, maybe that, juggles things up a little bit. Maybe they get crazy. Maybe they put Reef at right guard and they swing Onwenu out to right tackle.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like they like Mafi, though, at left guard, and he got a lot of praise from Belichick this week. So no question offensive line's got to be better in the run game and the pass game, but you need to see Mac executing at his position.
More of your phone calls and emails coming up in just a couple of minutes here on the Patriots Pregame Show. Fueled by Dunkin. Kick off your week with free coffee Mondays. Every Monday from now until October 30th, Dunkin' Rewards members can get a free medium hot or iced coffee with purchase. Nothing beats Dunkin' Rewards. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 per member per Monday. Exclusions, additional charges, and terms may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Dunkin' Rewards members, score big. Get a free medium hot or iced coffee every Monday all month long with purchase. Not a member? Join on the app right now. America runs on Dunkin'.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the New England Patriots. New customers can download the DraftKings app now and play free for millions in prizes using code PATS. That's code PATS, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next, for residential delivery only.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's leading schools and businesses technologically advanced and easy-to-use interactive displays, providing enhanced collaboration and improved student outcomes in the classroom, and an easy way to foster communication and teamwork in any business environment. Available in multiple sizes, TouchView also offers a built-in VC, allowing for easy use through video conference systems. For more information, visit okers.com.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Dunkin' Rewards members, score big. Get a free medium hot or iced coffee every Monday all month long with purchase. Not a member? Join on the app right now. America runs on Dunkin'.
This is the Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris ahead of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke.
TouchView Interactive from the Yokers Company offers New England's...
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next, for residential delivery only.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
Dude, see, you can play hockey and do a few things, and, Paul played, and it's like, all right, I can get around a golf course, but I'm no athlete. But you always have in the back of your mind, it's like, I wonder if I could have been a knuckleballer.
Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
Now that you play that back, I had a dream, I think it was 2 nights ago, about throwing knuckleballs. And you know what? I was good. I was excellent.
Throwing no rotation at all, just dancing.
Oh, the thing looked like a butterfly with hiccups.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Oh, did you just make that up?
No.
That's good.
No.
Baseball jargon.
I have a lot of butterfly metaphors.
Really?
Hit a soft shot, green side, lands like a butterfly with sore feet. Whatever you want. I got them all. I can do it all day.
They have feet?
It's impressive.
They must.
Just in, like...
What do you think? They just
stick things.
They just land on their bellies?
Well, I just don't think they have ankles.
They think they're like seaplanes?
There's no joint down there. It just goes straight into the bottom.
Hey, Tamara Brown's with us. Hi, Tamara.
Hi. I think that we need to ban you from using the word bayou moving forward.
The word should be banned from
show
being
up to the
used
show to make
by
you.
I think that we're going to have to ban that.
Why don't you, as you finally, nice to see you. Wow.
She was out flying a drone around.
Only an hour and 5 minutes late to the pregame.
Okay.
Why don't you favor us with your key to the game and see if you can improve your horrific score of 18.9 out of 22, lower being better. Your key to the game for the Patriots Saints today was?
Be like Dory. I'm hoping that since everyone in here has kids that you've seen Finding Nemo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so Dory forgets everything immediately after you tell her. So you could tell her your name is Hardy, and she's going to ask you again in 5 minutes, who are you? And so I'm using that as my key because I want the Patriots to come into this game and completely forget what happened last week. I don't want to hear about the disastrous game. I don't want to hear that it was the worst loss in Bill Belichick's career. Don't care. Today's a new day. That's in the past. If you come out here paralyzed and hungover from that game, you will lose against this Saints team. So it's so important for them to come out here with a clean slate, a fresh mind, and just coming into this game with nothing from last week on their mind.
Okay, it improves your score a little bit, but I think that type of mentality works better for a team that has played a couple of good games, then suffers a bad loss. That's the one you need to forget. I think they need to remember how horribly they've been playing. Horribly is a stretch. How badly they've been playing. And in order for them to get better, I kind of disagree with that notion. It's a good one for teams that have had a good game here or there. Have the Patriots had a good game this year?
No. But I feel like it's important that you don't come in here and you're like scared to throw the ball because you're scared that it's going to be a pick six.
But they
or
know
strip 8.
They know that they have to. I want to get back to something here real quick, and welcome back, Paul. How was your chin wag?
It was excellent. Thanks for asking.
I want to get back to something about the Patriots and specifically about the Saints defense on third and short situations. We talked about this a little bit with Larry Holder earlier from The Athletic. The Saints have been in 17 third and short situations this year from opposing offenses, right? Or fourth and short, whatever. Conversion opportunities. Either 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1. They've those opposing offenses have thrown the ball 9 times. They have converted on 3 of them, 33%.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
When they run the ball, 66% conversion. Or 63%.
And it's 3rd and what?
Short, 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
Okay? So you got to run the ball in these situations today. Can the Patriots
run the dang ball?
Can the Patriots run the ball effectively?
I made it funny.
I want
I love that.
I know.
That has to be my key one week.
Okay.
Run the dang ball.
Can they? Will they? Can they get under center and hand the ball off either to Ezekiel or Ramondre and pick up a yard or 2 on a 3rd and 1 or a 3rd and 2?
I think it depends on how Ramondre feels today. I mean, he was added to the injury report this week throughout practice, and so I'm wondering how bad is this thigh injury? Is it just a tickle, or is it something serious that we have to keep an eye on?
Just know that if they pass the ball in one of those situations and don't convert, I will, wherever I'm watching,
the high pen drop.
Yeah, like So this is what happens.
So
and it's out there for you.
So this is what happens.
That's going to be my reaction if on a 4th and short they don't get it, because I can't look at that anymore.
Ooh.
It's annoying.
No more tush push for them.
No.
They don't seem to have that one in the bag yet.
Which, by the way, when we mentioned that on the Sports Hub earlier this week, I asked T-Bone to play French Mistake from Blazing Saddles. He cut it off at the right time. But that's throw out your hands, stick out your tush, hands on your hips, give them a push. Don't look. Now you're doing the French Mistake. Voila! We don't need
We're
that.
having fun.
We don't need that.
Here.
Oh, we're having a good time.
I do wonder today if it's one of those games where we might have to rely on a trick play to score.
Ooh. I wouldn't be opposed to some busting out some, some little.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy here, but you got to be down in the red zone in order to run a trick play.
Do you though?
Well, you want to run a trick play?
I don't think they were for that one with Marcus
midfield?
Jones. I don't think they were. Marcus Jones got a big first down.
When you think of trick plays, what part of the field do they take place in, Paul? 30 and in.
Oh well, you see a lot of them like after a quick turnover if you're around midfield, but like it depends what you're talking about. You talking about like a halfback option or something? I would say you're
well,
probably
Tamara said
right.
a scoring play. They're going to score a touchdown on a trick play.
Or at least,
but like you run a flea flicker from the 50 and you're hoping to get the guy wide
Boom.
open.
Okay.
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
But like if it's like a halfback option or something like that you're talking about, Hardy, that's probably more in the red zone.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Do
thinking.
you know a stat that astounds me about the Patriots?
Oh.
Do you know that they've run
6 Super Bowls,
one play all year inside the 5-yard line or inside the 10-yard line?
I believe it.
They have a 5-yard touchdown run, I
What?
think, for Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
Or
What do you mean?
like
What do you
that.
mean?
Yeah,
They've
that's it.
run one successful play?
No, for inside the 5-yard line. From the 5-yard line in, they've run one play all year.
Nobody can stop them
4
inside
games.
the 10. They just go right in.
Like,
oh my God!
I think that's an astounding stat.
That is.
That is crazy.
That's really good.
All right.
I mean, it's hard. Paul, you said this. You've said this all year, all off season, saying that they could be better, but the schedule's harder, so it might not turn out to be what it was last year, 8 and 9. And I mean, it's interesting in practice when this is actually happening. It's kind of hard to stomach as we get moving along in the season here if the offense isn't demonstrably better than it was last year.
Yeah. So far, I would say it hasn't been better.
No.
But I would say that if they had more games like the first one, I would have said that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because I do think offensively, from the late second quarter and into periods of the second half, the offense looks better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only time in the 4 games that I felt that. But they lost because the other team was a little better.
Yeah.
And the Eagles had more players and they made more plays and they found a way to win. But then the other 3 games, we haven't really seen that.
Have you ever remember that happening before where, as I always feel like, and maybe this is foolish of me because I'm starting not to really believe it, but I always go into the first game or 2 sloppy. This is going to be a weird game. This isn't really who the team's going to be at the end of the year, but I don't ever remember a start where you look 4 games through and your best performance was in the first game and you've just been kind of on a downward trajectory since then. And that's, feeds into today. Like, how do you turn that around? But it's just – so I don't know if teams are getting a beat on them. If guys are getting hurt, of course, that's part of it too. But just weird.
It is weird. I'm wondering if it attributes to them working so much on the Eagles' offense throughout the summer, where we constantly saw them getting looks at those dual threat quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if because they had all summer to prepare for week 1 versus you don't have all summer to prepare for the rest of the season, if that's why they looked their best week 1.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
and especially because they knew that was a big weakness of theirs.
Another team coming
You're
out
right.
playing their first game, working out some kinks too. I mean, you look better against a team that is, struggling here and there too. But you
sound like Dr. Evil right there, struggling.
I couldn't care less if they're struggling. Michelle in South Carolina. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, everybody. What's up?
You
You
tell
called
us.
You called us.
What? Hello?
Yeah, we got you. There was a lot of animal noises in the background last time I spoke with you. It sounds relatively quiet this time.
Yeah, my bulldog is being quiet today.
Okay, good.
Good for
All
him.
right. So, guys, who will move over to Judon's position today? And I'm thinking Peppers and Barmore need to have a good game today.
Yeah.
Also, question: Billy O, does he have enough running plays in his team to get Zeke going and Stevenson? Because we got to stay out of third and long. Third and long kill us. And we can go after Derek Carr, who's dealing with the shoulder injury. And they have a backup center play. So how can we take advantage of that? Because they have a lot of injuries, too.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Michelle. We're going to start with Judon.
I mean, I think it'll probably be Jennings early downs, and then they're going to have to maybe spin the dial a little bit on third downs as to, try to get some speed on the field. I don't know if it'll be Jennings, if they'll maybe tweak Tavai's role a little bit, but there's just, like I bring up Ronnie Perkins, like plucked off the practice squad. He would be at least a guy that you could maybe bring in and say you're going to just be a pass rusher, and it, allows you to play Uche a little bit more. I don't know. I'm curious how they're going to go about trying to generate pass rush without Matthew Judon.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy because he, I think, does more than just pass rush, too. I think that he is – I don't think he's the greatest at the other – I think, obviously, he's –
At least you throw Jennings in there and he can hold the edge.
He's going to set the edge.
Yeah.
And I think with guys like maybe Keon White, you might have an opportunity to get some penetration in the backfield and whatnot. I don't know if you have a guy that does – and it's not – it's pretty obvious that all the stuff that Judon does, because I don't like the idea of – Uche's role getting much bigger.
Yeah.
I like Uche in that sort of designated pass rushing role.
And he's got that speed off the edge, and that's what I think helped Uche be so productive is the two guys coming off the edge with him and Judon. It kind of spreads the line out a little bit. The tackles have to go out to get those guys, and then presents opportunities on the inside. And if you don't have another speed rusher, where Keon White is not going to threaten the edge. I like what he's doing, but there's no easy answer on third down. Who's coming off the edge and challenging tackles?
Alex in New Jersey on the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin. Hello, Alex.
Hey, hello. My name is Alex Mora, and I have a question for Matthew. I know Matthew Judon and Christian Gonzalez is injured, but I'm wondering if Jack Jones will still be playing. Is Jack Jones still going to be playing?
Not yet. He's still on injured reserve, so we're waiting. He's eligible to return when he's healthy, but he was not healthy this week to return, so he is still remains inactive, and we'll see. Each week he could come off.
It's getting a little closer, hopefully, Alex. All right?
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for calling in. We'll go to William in Philadelphia, 855-PATS-500 if you'd like to join us here on the Patriots Pregame Show. Hi, William.
How you doing?
Good.
How you doing?
Good.
I agree with your assessment about Mac needs to be playing like a third-year quarterback. Also, with Paul's been very consistent about talking about how Mac has been playing. When I'm done protecting him at that point. But I do agree with you. But here's also a problem too. Like his offensive line is in shambles, and his receivers can't get open. What do y'all want him to do?
I want him to throw it to the guys when they are open. I want him to make some plays. I want him to hit a 4-yard crosser to Devontae Parker on 4th and 3. I understand they're not going to score 40 points a game because of all the reasons you just said, but that doesn't mean you could score 3.
True.
That's all.
True. I as a Patriots fan, diehard fan, look, I got the Saints winning this game. If we can win this game, I hope Bill will be on the phone making a move at wide receiver to add, to help Mac out even more. That's all I got, guys.
Okay, thanks, William.
I think maybe it's next week. We table this, or maybe depends if it goes really bad today. We can talk about it in the postgame show.
Okay.
Just the notion of adding to this team astounds me, and it's 100%. Everybody wants to add.
Yeah.
Go out and get a piece. Why are they not signing this guy? Why are they not trading for that guy? I'm really surprised that so many people want to add to this team.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to give up assets, especially not high round draft pick assets at this point. Unless it's, like a situation where you have an opportunity to get somebody here and build for the future. But I'm not really interested in trying to burn picks and try to, a second for Mohamed Sanu, that kind of deal.
What confused me about that notion, Paul, and that feeling was that people were saying, why are they picking up J.C. Jackson? When this team really needs is a receiver. I said, well, number one, it's a question of personnel. To borrow from Bill Belichick in the postgame last week, well, someone's got to play. Yeah. So you need someone out there in that position and to have some depth there. But are you talking about well, why don't you bring in a receiver? I don't know. Go back and ask yourself and maybe start to accept the answer that the reason why they didn't bring in DeAndre Hopkins or they haven't done more is because they have a feeling, a nagging notion that their quarterback can't make the most use out of those weapons, especially with the offensive line that he has now and the quarterback that he is. What are we going to pay DeAndre Hopkins for?
Yeah.
So he can do what with him? Miss him when he's open?
I just think if this season continues down a downward trend, it's not – the answer isn't to go trade for somebody. It's to – Paul's key, get Pop Douglas out there as much as possible, get Booty a chance, and get Tyquan Thornton back. I mean, I don't really have, these grand notions that Tyquan Thornton's going to be the answer, but he is a second-year player you spent a second-round pick on last year. He needs to play. You need to at least get a sense of what you have with that guy before you go trade for somebody and then, you want to trade for somebody and push him and Pop Douglas down. I think those guys could possibly be part of the future, and they need to play this year, especially if, they're out of the playoff kind of mix.
Unbelievable play made in that Jacksonville Buffalo game. Was that Williams who came down with that?
Yeah, it was 3rd and 15. He just kind of took a shot. He looked like he had a chance for Diggs. Josh Allen threw one down inside the 5, and it was a great play on the ball by the defensive back Williams for I think is it Darius Williams? I'm not sure. For Jacksonville, goes up and fights Diggs for the ball. Diggs had a chance to make a play on it. But the defensive back for the Jags outfought him. So you'll be happy today, Mike, because I know how much you hate talent.
Just Diggs.
That's the Don from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, so it's down at the 7-yard line. So it does, like as Hardy said, it kind of works as a punt for the Bills.
Eric in New Jersey. Hello, Eric. Thanks for joining us here. By the way, now I'll do it in a second. Eric, you go first.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Tamara. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing I think, seeing a gunslinging Mac Jones, is the gun-shy Mac Jones. I think we kind of saw it last year. Ramondre kind of picked up a lot of receptions. Mac's really throwing the ball right there at the line, getting it out, even quick. And obviously, I know with all the offensive line struggles, but the brand of football, just watching, just strictly I'm talking from an entertainment perspective, from Cam Newton to Mac Jones. I mean, just the brand of football putting out there, especially offensively. I think it's tough to watch. But, like I said, more importantly, as far as it relates to this game, I still want to see Mac. I don't think Mac's the answer, but you got to throw the ball. You got to play offense out here. I don't want to see these 5-yard dinks and dunks all over the game. I'll take it off the line. Thanks, guys.
If you move the ball in 5- and 6-yard chunks, I agree with you. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. But if you do it enough times and can actually get the ball downfield and get yourself a chance at scoring something today beyond 15 points, I'd be thrilled. How can you be picky? How can you be picky right now?
Anything that works, I would take.
Anything that works. I would love it if it's Douglas, like Paul said in his key, to get Douglas involved, and you get it out to him, and he can get 5-6 more yards after the catch, for a gain of 10 or 12. Fantastic. Be turning cartwheels with a 12-yard gain. But if all you're going to give me is 5 or 6, 2 plays in a row for another first down, all day, I'll take it.
Yeah. I think they can't afford to be conservative when it comes to Demario Douglas. I think that with him being the most dynamic and fast, and the most dynamic and the most, basically, it's like I don't want to sit there and talk about the rest of the wide receivers and say that they're not good because they're all NFL wide receivers. But he creates the most opportunity to create plays. Especially when things unravel the way they have with the offensive line and stuff. Like he can get open to make a play for Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Paul's point. He needs to play more. I'd like to just see him targeted in key situations where it feels like there's been a lot of key situations over the last few games where it's Juju getting the target and it just never looks quite right. And I'd like to see when you start to see Mac looking a different direction in third down, that will signal when things are starting to change. And I'd love to see Pop because he can, get open those third and shorts. He's got that quick twitch ability. I believe in that a lot more right now than I believe in what Juju has.
I think that starts too with him actually knowing the plays and not getting confused and running into people. I think he's had a few issues like that, so I'm hoping that he was able to wrinkle some of that out this week in practice.
Yeah.
I met somebody last week.
Oh.
I met Dom of Dom Sausage.
Oh, really?
And it was I was a bit starstruck. And I thanked him. For
He's a meat
his
man.
steak tips and for his delectable meats. This is going to sound weird. How about this? Dom's Sausage is the official steak tip of the New England Patriots. You can order them online for nationwide delivery at domsausage.com. Use promo code PATS15 for 15% off. That's promo code PATS15. But Dom, delightful guy.
I would give a local plug to Ward's Berry Farm up the street here in Sharon. My son works. They have a wonderful display of all kinds of Dom's products that I'm very tempted by. I need to try them all, but turkey, steak tips, the whole thing, they've got it all there. So if you're a local, head over there. You can get your share of Dom's.
Wow, and how much have you purchased there yourself?
Few.
Okay.
Few.
All right.
Yeah. No, they look so nice. Like, it's like, you know those, like, certain things you just go in and you're like, oh, man, that would be really good tonight. Just a bag of steak tips with the Pats logo on it.
They know what they're doing.
Hopefully they got them today up there. That's my favorite.
Daniel in Tennessee, you're on. What's up, Daniel?
Hey, guys. First time, long time. I just wanted to call in about something Paul said about buying things for this team versus selling assets. I completely agree. I mean, I don't think that this team is cruising towards a playoff spot or anything like that. So why waste assets whenever you probably need to rebuild going into next year? And, I mean, I don't want to bring the mood down, but personally I would rather them either split the next two games, go 1-1, or lose, both of them preferably.
Wow. Yeah, and when I said, like, I'm not necessarily saying that they have to sell parts either, but I'm just surprised that we haven't heard anybody bring that up. You know, this call is one of the very few that I've heard sort of broaching that as a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've heard a lot of hue and cry over not getting Chase Claypool. Like,
bye tomorrow.
I just don't know why, and I get it. Like that particular one, okay, to switch spots from the 7th round to the 6th round, like
whatever.
What is nothing lost, right? So I get it, but people really want to invest in this team, and I'm just not sure that it's worth losing anything of any value.
Not at this juncture.
Yeah, if you
but
can
but you just said it.
If you could trade a 5th round pick for a 6th round pick or something crazy like that, and that's all it takes, fine. But I just don't think it makes a lot of sense.
But that was it, Chase Claypool. I mean, for that one player and that one move alone, why wouldn't the Patriots do that?
Because someone else did it.
What?
No, I mean, like maybe they tried. I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, the guy's big, slow, and he's on his 3rd team. Like
they tried, and they weren't willing to give up a 6th rounder in exchange for a 7th rounder.
I'm not overly upset that they didn't get Chase Claypool, who has been asked to leave 2 different teams in 4 years.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, it wouldn't have cost you anything. So why not? Like, to Hardy's point, what are you losing?
I mean,
you're going from the 6th round to the 7th round in a draft spot.
Yes.
To get a guy who once, as a rookie, was productive.
Right, and that's, I mean, and Jalen Reagor's never been productive,
Yeah,
but at least he's like got some traits that are different than what they have. Like another big receiver that like at least Jalen Reagor on the practice squad. I feel pretty much the same way about those guys.
Thank you, Daniel. Let's move to John in Louisiana. Hello, John. Thanks. Oh, John,
you speak my language.
You and I share something.
What's going on, man?
How are you? Oh, I had to look at the call screen, or I didn't get it.
Well, John, you're from Louisiana. You know why the alligator crossed the road, don't you?
Because he wanted to get by you.
Yes!
Cajun cookie!
There we go. Thank you, John.
But I want to ask, with the offense being all kind of messed up with the last couple of weeks, I'm wondering, would you guys be more interested if the running game would be better today or the passing game?
Passing game. That's.
If I had to only choose one, I'd rather have it be the passing game. But yeah, they both need to be better. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I would prefer a passing game because I think you need a real jump start for this offense, and that is attained in a quicker way, in a better way, in a more visible way to my untrained eye with the improved play in the passing game more so than the running game. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people would say if we can't pass the ball, we need to be able to run. Like you just brought up the stat, we need to run on 3rd and short. So I'm like, isn't that like kind of contrary to what you thought right there, or no?
Well, yeah, on 3rd and short situations. I mean, I'm not saying you got to pass it on every single down, but 3rd and short. Look, this goes for most teams. I would say, John, when I see somebody dropping back to pass on a 3rd and 1. I think, what are you doing? You can't figure out a way to open up a hole for your best running back to get a yard, presumably your third down back, which I thought was supposed to be Ezekiel Elliott, but we keep talking about Ramondre and whether he's going to be healthy enough. To me, there are some things that you just have to be able to do to be a functioning NFL team in 2023. Yeah. And one of those things is pick up a yard on 3rd and 1 by running the ball. To me, that is checkers, not chess, and sometimes checkers is just fine.
Yeah. Throw to score, run to win. I mean, I think that's kind of the core of what the Patriots need to do. Like a 3rd and 1, you got to pick up a first down.
Is that not,
no, I know.
Not appropriate?
Not yet, Paul. Not yet. Almost.
Okay.
But that's generally how I feel. Like, they got to score points. Like, that's the bottom line. They got to score points. You score points by throwing the ball. They get a lead. They can run the ball, 3rd and short, icing the clock, those kind of things. That's when it's important. But for this to be a functional NFL offense, they need to be able to throw the ball and put it in the end zone.
And, John, how dare you listen that closely to something I said and then try and use it against me? I don't appreciate.
I'm sorry, man. You used it like 5 times in the last month.
But
that's true, man.
John, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
We should have gotten like the Bobby Boucher assistant coach guy to call in for a preview. That would be good for Hardy.
Good call, John. Thank you. Moises in Florida. Moises, haven't talked to you in a minute. What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
I haven't called in a long time. You know why I haven't called?
No.
There's a lot of negativism over there in New England.
Oh.
Paul, I love you. Deuce, I love you too, the host. I love Fred, everybody. I listen every time to your shows.
Thanks, Moises. We appreciate it.
But
the thing that is going on in New England. Remember, we spoil. I'm 54 years old. I went to that era that they sucked, and now we went to the era that they were winning. It's becoming now they're gonna suck again for a little bit. So just relax. I just want to say hi to you guys. God bless you, and have a good day. All right? Thank you.
Thanks, Moises.
Moises, thanks. Thank you for the call. Moises has made his peace. Yeah. He's not talking about this season. He's not talking about picking up wide receivers. He lived through them sucking. He said, now we have entered another period of suck, and just deal with it.
And all this negativity that's in this town sucks.
Yeah, and I get what he's saying, because I'm old enough to have followed those teams that weren't very good either. But that's I kind of is why I feel the way I feel about what's going on now. Like, these teams kind of reminiscent of those.
There's just something about having a team with the thought to be greatest head football coach in the history of the NFL, and the best ownership group and all these things in place. How can a team like that suck? Yeah, using Moises's words, how can the Patriots suck? You still have Bill Belichick. How can they suck?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not the team that was last week. I think that what we're hoping this week is that we regress towards the mean and we see a little bit closer to what we were hoping that this team was. As we get into, as I said at the top of the show, this period in October when you start to find out what you have. Guys have been playing together for a few months now. You should start to be building some continuity along the offensive line. The offense should starting to be finding some kind of a rhythm. So it's a good opportunity. It's a tough challenge from the Saints with that veteran D. I think they've got enough pieces to really, make for tough sledding today. It's not going to be a get right game. It's going to be a game that you have to fight tooth and nail for, probably right down to the end to get the win.
Yeah, your boy Julius Peppers out there.
Julius Peppers, that's right.
Can
we call him that now?
Do you like that?
I like that.
No, Jabril Peppers.
Please don't do that, because I almost did it on the air last week.
Oh, sorry.
It's easy to confuse the two.
Favorite, and he's played pretty well for them. Mike and I like to bicker back and forth. I don't think he's played as well as Mike does, but he has played pretty well for them. I think it's interesting, sort of looking at him. There's my key to the game right there, Demario Douglas. But how they use those safeties with the situation at cornerback, I think will be an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
Yeah, maybe more. Cody Davis isn't back, so I don't know. I had some designs maybe that Cody Davis's return might free Adrian Phillips up a little bit. I don't know for sure if that would be the case, but yeah.
I can't possibly be more upset at the overemphasis on special teams if Adrian Phillips really doesn't play because he plays too much on special
Yeah.
teams.
No, and I know, and that's probably you're probably right.
I mean,
It's
if he should be playing,
more
like I don't have any problem with their safeties.
Yeah.
I think Duggar and Peppers, those guys I think have played pretty well. So it's not like I think they're really missing Adrian Phillips.
No, it just might give him some depth, but you're probably right. It's ultimately just he's special teams and a backup safety now.
Bills, by the way, in a lot of trouble, as some predicted. Thank you.
Bills down 18-7 against a Jacksonville team that
owns them,
showing some you didn't tell me that, Paul.
That owns them. They've played well against them.
Who
No,
owns the Bills?
I thought Hardy. This was one of those games. I thought that Buffalo played exceptionally well last week in an emotional game at home against Miami. I thought there was a chance. I picked Buffalo to win the game, but I picked Jacksonville to cover. And
why you picked Jacksonville to cover?
Because I thought Buffalo would be flat today, and they have been.
No, because they're the road team in an international game. Always take not the road team, the underdog in one of these overseas games.
Oh, is that a thing?
That is an RJ Bell thing.
I heard a couple other of those things that I didn't agree with this week.
And they went the other way on him, didn't they?
Did they really?
Yeah. He had a couple.
Already, huh?
2 weeks. No, 2 weeks ago he had a couple of things, and they both did not.
He has some
through.
odd observations about the league. I'm not talking about gambling trends because I leave that to those guys. They study that stuff and they know that inside and out. But like what he thinks of teams and what they are, I think is in a lot of ways
I think
runs counter to what I think most people would feel.
Yeah, and I also kind of like push back on any kind of
you do. I noticed that.
Well, I push back on a hive mentality. It's like, well, here's a team that thinks they're better than they are. And it's like, really, go through every 1 through 53 in the locker room, and each one of those guys thinks they're better than what they are. There may be a few guys and a few key players, but to think that you've got a general consensus about a team's chances or this or that, it's team. It's a group of individuals, and they come together, and they have to, and I get it, that's the sport, but you can't assign a feeling or an attitude or an emotion to an entire football team. I reject that. I reject it.
Out of hand?
Out of hand. It's rejected.
Do you guys do you make anything of the report this morning? Zappy getting increased reps this week. Do you put anything in that?
I put a little something to it.
Yeah. You have some info so Mike is basically this whole pregame show is Mike holding out information.
No, I just watched NFL whatever it was this morning, and was it Pelissero?
I've watched nothing, and
one of the NFL Network guys.
I've seen none of this.
Just said
I do see Bailey Zappi on the field right now. So.
Yeah.
Yes. And Ian Rappaport also had this NFL Game Day kickoff. Patriots are sticking with Mac Jones. No change is imminent. But Bailey Zappi did get more practice snaps. No limitations. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that was it. Zappi just getting more reps.
So I did bring up during the course of our PU shows this week, Mike, I said, do you think that the leash will be any shorter with Mac? If they struggle early in the game again, like they have in all 4 games, do you think that the leash will be any shorter? And maybe based on that, if that report is what is the over-under on penalties on one team in a London game? Because I got Buffalo with about 28 in this game.
Be better, Buffalo.
28 for 315 yards.
I feel if that report has any validity, then I would think the leash is going to be a little shorter.
Well, I think that the leash will be shorter with the fans in the building than it will be with the coaching staff.
The fans, absolutely.
And that might make for a little bit of an interesting situation if they get off to a slow start. So it's interesting from the get-go today.
Yeah, it is a question of, okay, if Mac plays poorly, now we know that Zappi coming into the game is a likelihood. Does he come into the game before the game is out of hand? Last week, the game was out of hand. Zappi came in.
That's a good point.
And but that's your question, Paul. I'm rephrasing your question.
Don't let the game get to that point if it's. And I mean, I think that's what's.
Could Zappi come into this game today if they're losing and Mac isn't playing well, but the game is still winnable?
Well, I mean, I think what you saw from Mac when he just his footwork and everything, he was not playing the position the way they need him to, and I wonder if they would throw the brakes on if things were going negatively, because they saw last week that things kind of snowballed, and now, hey, let's get him out of there and get Zappi in. I mean, he needs a good start is what he needs, and then I think that'll be contagious throughout the team, and maybe then that's the way they roll. It's really hard for me today to see a favorable outcome if they don't get off to a good start again. I mean, it's just it's like we all feel. It's like my key. break the cycle. It's, if they go out there and the Saints put up 10 points early, and it's, here we go again. I'm sure that, that's kind of the mentality that is starting to fester around there after these slow starts.
You guys ready for over-unders?
Over-under.
It's time for this week's edition of Over-Unders.
You're over me? When were you under me?
We're going to thank Bridgestone Official Tire of the New England Patriots, proud to partner with Sullivan Tire, New England's headquarters for quality Bridgestone tires. Visit sullivantire.com to find a location near you. What happened last week, Mr. Morrell?
Paul went 3-3, whereas Mike and Hardy went 2-4.
That's fine.
Season totals: Paul 12-12, Mike 11-13, Hardy 10-14.
Anybody's season.
Yeah.
It could all swing today.
Mac Jones passing yards 222.5.
Oh boy. All right, I'm going to set the tone. I think this is a little bit of a low number. I'm hopeful that Matt can get back on track and go over that. I'm going to take the over.
Here we go.
I'm going to take the over, too. This is a tough one because I could see the game. If the Patriots get the lead, they want to run the ball, and they're going to play like the Jets. Maybe the yards aren't there, but I'm going to say over.
I'm going over. This is going to be a theme for me today. The Patriots doing something worthy of the uniform today, and it starts with Mac Jones over 2.5.
Derek Carr passing touchdowns 1.5.
I'm going to take the under on that one. I don't see him throwing 2 touchdown passes. I see them, if they get down there, maybe leaning on Kamara a little bit more. Under.
That's fine. I just with the questions on the Patriots defense right now, I feel he has a chance to throw 2 touchdowns today. I'm going to go over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over too. Just don't really know what to expect from the Patriots cornerbacks. How healthy are they? Are they going to be able to go the whole game? And they've got some weapons, so I'm going to take the over.
This could be a new segment, Deuce down on defense. And just down
on injuries.
What are you down on the defense for this week, Deuce?
They lost their 2 best players this week. That's all.
Oh.
I would just say watch the game last week, like before Judon went down.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Hunter Henry receiving yards 37.5.
Big over. Cut it in half and double it again. Over all day. Pound the over.
Yeah, if I'm going over on Mac, I'm going over on Hunter Henry too.
I've lived well going over with Hunter Henry. I'm going to continue it. I'll make it unanimous. Over.
Total team points for the Patriots 20.5.
You son of a bitch. All right, here we go. Back to me. I got to go under on this one. It's they're a good defense. I think Mac will be productive, but points have been at a premium. I struggle to see them getting out of the teens.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under as well. I think if either one of these teams gets to 20, I think they would feel pretty good about it. So I'm going to take the under.
This is shaping up to be another situation like we had with the Patriots and the Jets. We mentioned this a couple of times earlier in the show. Everybody's prediction on this game is the same. One of these weeks, it's going to go against script. And I, specifically for the Patriots, I'm going over.
You go.
Total touchdowns in this game, 4.5.
That's you, Paul.
I'm going to take the under it again. I don't see 5 touchdowns scored. Obviously those defensive scores can come back and haunt me, but I'm going to take the under.
Look, I'm going over. I've already got Derek Carr at 2 passing touchdowns. I got the Patriots scoring at least 3. That feels like 5, so I got to go over.
Yeah, I'm going to go with under. I'm with Paul.
You guys are cowards.
I am.
And the total score, 40.5.
As part of my score prediction, which we will get to when we do the Sunday 6-pack, over.
Over for him. I'm going to go under. I think, I'll reveal my score later, but under.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm going to take the under. I just don't have a lot of faith in either one of these offenses.
You guys are babies.
You got to have faith, the faith.
What? No, I don't.
George Michael. Faith.
I thought you were doing the Limp Bizkit cover.
Didn't sound like that either.
Which apparently apparently George Michael was not a fan of the Limp Bizkit cover of his song.
Better than the original.
And then 12 years later, he died. Coincidence? I think not.
Oh, Faith is George Michael's "Faith" is an excellent song. Morel, what's the matter with you?
Oh, the Limp Bizkit version's way better.
Yeah, I think that's blasphemous.
I like.
I've never heard it.
The George Michael song "Freedom." That's a jam.
Oh, that's
and
Freedom 90?
Yes, Freedom 90. And the
correct.
the
Freedom
video
is not a great song. Wham's "Freedom," not a great song.
The
Freedom 90, outstanding.
The video helped me blossom into manhood. It taught me a couple of things. Not as much as the Divinals hit single, but whatever.
Well, that was a good one.
Okay. All right, back to the phones, 855-PATS-500, webradio@patriots.com. We'll get to more of your emails, but first we go to Logan.
It's 10 penalties, Paul, 99 yards.
Indiana.
Yeah, in fairness, the Jags just got called for a terrible roughing the passer call on a sack.
Oh, that'll help. All right, Logan.
Let's even it out. You made it fair. Logan, what's up?
There we go.
Hey, I just want to give my 2 cents on the Belichick, Mac Jones thing and where I think Patriots are going. I think it's ride and die with Kraft and Belichick, unfortunately. I love Bill. He's done good for us over the years, but Mac Jones is not the guy. Doesn't have the eye of the tiger that I want to kill you when you look at me wrong on the field. Oh. He just don't have it. Ready for a Mike McDaniel or that guy that's an asshole at the plate. That's cool, man.
All right.
Let's go Patriots today.
Thank you, Logan.
What a horrific. The Bills just got called for another penalty to wipe a touchdown off the board, and I don't believe that Stephon Diggs touched anybody. They got called for offensive pass interference. But
I'm willing to give the refs the benefit of the doubt on that
this
one.
This has not been a great day for the officials.
Oh, we got a penalty
we got
there.
another flag. What a shot. I think it's a touchdown anyway. Yeah. It is.
But what is the penalty? We won't
That's
know.
Probably another offensive interference the way the game has gone. 11 for 109 yards for Buffalo. R.A. McDermott not going to be happy, Mike.
We have Vaughn checking in, says, I don't know how to feel about this game. It's a snooze fest, but I'm optimistic we can get the win. Do we really have a chance? Lose this game and the season is over in my eyes. We've been trailing all year. If the Saints go up 3-0, I might give the nod.
You know, that's another really underrated portion of the first 4 games is the Patriots have had all of these games, and they haven't led in any of them other than the one that they won.
Isn't that crazy?
Just Evan reporting, same line in warm-ups as last week, so no Riley Reef in there. Vidarian Lowe remains at right tackle. And just another thing, I'm really looking forward to this game. I don't know what that guy's snooze fest. This is a game where it's like feels like there's things on the line, and it's not just like we got to beat a bad team to, it's a good team that you really need to win, and it's going to go one of 2 directions. So I disagree.
I'm just talking about the way the game.
The quality
it's
of
like
the game.
The Jets.
Oh, well,
I think the Jets are a good team too, but that was a
question.
snooze fest. I just don't see this game holding a ton of entertainment value.
I guess within the game itself, maybe not, but the result and how it unfolds is to me what's going to be entertaining.
Jack in California on the Patriots Pregame Show. Hello, Jack.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
So I'm just they're playing a bad.
What?
They're playing. Patriots are playing a bad team this week, which gives them a great opportunity to score.
They're not playing a bad team this year. They're playing a team that's a middling team, that's 2-2 and is probably a shoulder injury away from being 3-1. This is the part that I'm going to go on Deuce's side on this. I don't know why this is, quote, the soft part of the schedule.
Not this game.
It's just comparatively speaking. I think that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
But the teams that they're playing are all like them. They're not worse than them, which I think is the way everybody is sort of characterizing it. I think the Saints.
You stun Jack into silence.
I mean, Chris Olave. Do the Patriots have anybody like Chris Olave?
No. That's what I think a lot of people are dying.
I mean,
for.
with Judon out, do the Patriots have anybody like Cameron Jordan?
No.
Demario
Davis.
Do they have? They don't have anybody like Demario.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Do they have anybody like Marshawn Lattimore with Gonzalez out? Gonzalez might have been trending in that way, but I think the Patriots have every opportunity to win this game today because the Saints' offense is struggling, just like the Patriots is, and I think that's the secret sauce for the Patriots: keep the score down and find a way to win. But I don't think the Saints are a bad team.
I mean, they got talent on offense, and that's just that's what scares me about today is what if today is the day that offense kind of gets cooking and finds their stride with Kamara back for a couple weeks. He's, they know what they're doing with him now, and it opens some things up. It's I think you'll know pretty quick how this game's going to go.
Let's grab a couple more emails here. Bill has been outcoached and outdrafted for the better part of 4 seasons. Obviously can't draft offensive talent. Stuck in his own philosophies. Forget about trying to make the playoffs. Mr. Kraft needs to bite the bullet and hit the nuke button for the future of the franchise. Build the statues and move on. That is Mad Chad from Atlanta.
Mad Chad. I like that.
I like Glad Chad.
A lot of people just, willing to move on at this point. Hey, guys, thanks for taking my email this morning. That's Tony in Canada. You know what my definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different results. That's how I feel about the Patriots the last 3 or 4 years. So his questions, I'll pick 1 or 2 of them here. Based on our current roster, do you think our win-losses would be much different with any other coach other than Belichick?
No. Not at this point. I mean, they've won 1 game.
Now, I still have a lot of faith in Belichick. So no.
I'm sure he's selling the right things. We're starting to see how the players are coming together. What is this 2023 Patriots team like? How much are they buying what Bill is saying? I'm sure that he knows the things they need to do to win the game today, but do they have the talent and the want to execute those things?
Tony says, which is more likely to happen, Patriots winning a playoff game or Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce breaking up?
Come on now.
The breakup is imminent. I feel
they're not going to be together forever.
No. It's just that. It's just my feelings on that. Okay.
Nice close-up of Lawrence Guy there, looking good.
Yeah, let's do the Sunday 6-pack. Let's roll with it.
This is the Sunday 6-pack, so kick back and listen to my position. I'm itching to get the picks back. You better bring a big stack. Get it mixed, Jack. I came to win it. Yeah, this is the Sunday 6-pack.
All right, what happened last week in the games?
Mike and Paul 3-2, Hardy 2-3, bringing the season totals to Mike 13-5-2, Hardy 10-8-2, Paul 8-10-2.
All right. So we had the Chuckles 5-pack last week. We got the full-blown Sunday 6-pack this week. Imagine we got 3 1-o'clockers.
3 1-o'clockers.
Actually 4, but okay.
Right.
3 other than the Pats game. All right, let's go.
Correct, yeah. The 2-2 Houston Texans at the 2-2 Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta -2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Texans on this one. I do like the Falcons. I like what they're building there, maybe except for the quarterback. But C.J. Stroud's been playing well. I'm going to take the road dogs.
Yeah, I kind of have been intrigued by Houston's play in the early going, but I am going to take the home team in this game. I think it's a difference between sort of surprising teams and then all of a sudden, hey, Houston, now there's some expectation. So I'm going to take Atlanta.
A little water finding its level. Yeah, with Houston this week. I'm with you, Paul. I'm taking the Falcons laying the 2.5 at home.
The 1-3 New York Giants at the 3-1 Miami Dolphins. Miami -11.5.
Big number, Paul.
No Saquon.
It is a big number. However, I am going to lay the points. I think Miami is going to bounce back from their game last week and put up some big numbers. Miami. By the way, a big third down completion by Trevor Lawrence to convert a 3rd and 4 on a deep fade here down the sideline.
That's a heck of a throw.
Huge day for Calvin Ridley, too. Let's see. That puts Lawrence over 300 and Calvin Ridley 7 for 122. So big day. Big day for.
Can we trade for him?
Agent Zero.
I'm just I'm playing a little Texas Hold'em with Deuce here, trying to figure out who he's going to pick. I got to pick against him. I'm going Giants.
Wow. I'm going to go Miami. I'm going to lay the points. Yep.
The 3-1 Baltimore Ravens at the 2-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore -4.5.
Scott Zolak shocked the world by picking against the Steelers this past week. He could pick any game on the board. He took the Ravens laying 4.5. So that's part of one of my cards, one of my parlays that I have going this week. So I got to go Ravens just for rooting interest alone.
Yeah, I'm Ravens too.
So I am going to just go by history here. I know that the Steelers are banged up and Kenny Pickett's banged up, but these games tend to be decided by a field goal. I think Baltimore will win, but I will take the points. Pittsburgh.
The 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles at the 2-2 Los Angeles Rams. Philadelphia -4.
Back to you, Deuce.
Oh, this feels like Paul's Red Zone Paul pick of the week right here, the 425 game. But I am going to take the Eagles on the road against the Rams.
Who'd you go Ravens Steelers, Paul?
Steelers.
Okay.
Steelers.
All right, and
I'm going Philly.
Yeah, and I'm going to take Philly as well. I was very tempted to take the Rams. They're getting Cooper Kupp back. I think they've played pretty well for the most part, and that's going to do it, I think, for the Jags. Looks like Etienne is loose.
Wow.
I'm going to take the Eagles against my better judgment.
Yeah, I like the Eagles in this one, too.
Sunday Night Football, the 3-1 Dallas Cowboys at the 4-0 San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco minus 3.5.
Game of the week. What do you got, Paul?
I'm going to take the Niners, and I kind of don't think it's going to be very close. I think the Niners are going to blow them out.
I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a touchdown, but I'm taking the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. 49ers.
In the 2-2 New Orleans Saints at the 1-3 New England Patriots. New England minus 1.
Not only am I taking the Patriots, but I'm taking them to get off the schneid offensively. I'm taking them to go out there and figure out a few things today with a final score of 27-17.
Wow, that's a lot of points. I like you.
Saints turnovers.
I like you on the Saints number there. I don't have the Patriots quite that high, but I'm going to get the Patriots to 19 somehow. Find a way to pull this game out. I still think it's a coin flip, but I'm going to take the Pats.
19-17?
19-17.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of faith in this pick. I am going to go with the home team, and I just feel like they will have enough at home to get over a struggling offense with an injured quarterback, and I think that might be enough to come away with a win. I do not think this game is going to be easy. I have New England 13-10.
Oh. Wow.
I see why you said you weren't looking forward to it. That's a slog.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I was 19-17.
It could be 19-17. I won't feel any different about it. But it just, I just don't see either one of these teams putting 60 minutes of good offense together.
Couple more emails to get to here. We got one from Brett in Denver. This is sour grapes, but I don't care. Cole Strange is already bordering on a first-round bust, and Bill needs to be called out for it. Taking an extremely talented guard in the first round is almost indefensible. Taking a guard with potential in the first round is inexcusable. The offensive line is bad, and Strange was supposed to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. When he's not injured, he's inconsistent at best. Help me understand how this happened.
You're right. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I think we were all like kind of holding our breath saying, hey, maybe we'll come back and Cole Strange will have added 20 pounds and he'll look more stout and he'll look improved. And like we've said, he got injured within 10 minutes of the pads coming on, and he's been dealing with a knee injury ever since. I don't even know how close he was to full health when he got back. So it's hard to really, truly judge him. But all I know is that based on when he came back, he looked pretty much the same as he did as a rookie. And if that continues, he could lose his job to Antonio Maffi, which just everything you said is right. You can't miss on a guard like that.
I think we're going to end up getting an onside kick in the Bills game because it's taken him exactly 2 plays to get to the 3-yard line.
Wow.
43-yard pass to Hardy and not you, Hardy. And a 29-yarder to Gabe Davis has moved them from their own 25 to the Jacksonville 3.
Started playing football a little late today, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Josh, I thought he was going to take that one in on his own.
Yeah.
Why don't you trade draft picks? This is from Ramon in Tampa. Guys, I'm totally against giving up any draft picks at this time, mainly for the fact that Bill will likely trade down to fill these missing picks. And we don't know we know that just doesn't help our cause. So, no, do not trade any draft picks unless it's for a certified stud that will be on the team at least 3 years. It's time for the coaches and players to put up or shut up, show what you can do, or pave the road for your exit at this point. It should be Jonathan should be evaluating for the future. That's Ramon in Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, with a loss today, there's just going to be more and more of that type of conversation and that type of narrative. So they need the win today. They need the win today. Final thoughts heading out onto the field there, Deuce?
God, need a win. Find a way. Love to see them find something new, but at this point in the season, you just want to stay relevant and not a 1-4 team. So just get a win today.
Paul?
I think Mike had it perfect there. You got to find a way to stay relevant. And I think for Mac Jones, this is a really important game. I think he needs to show the ability to bounce back.
Yep.
It's Big Mac Jones Day. He's got to go out there and show some wherewithal and some ability to be an NFL quarterback. To say again what I said earlier in the show that you're worthy of being a starting quarterback in the NFL in your third year. Last week you didn't look like that. Yep. You got to look like that this afternoon. And look, the win, of course, is the thing. But if it's 13-10, if it goes to Paul's prediction, it doesn't change how a lot of people feel. And we got some of that after the Jets win. We had people who felt better after losses than they felt against after that Jets game.
Yep.
You got to show something. You got to show the fans that this team has the ability to do something more. All right. Thank you all for listening and watching. Thanks for everybody being a part of the Patriots Pregame Show, fueled by Dunkin, brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories made in Massachusetts. Indoors, outdoors, scenic views, city vibes, solo, family style, whatever moves you, whatever the season. Plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.